Hey guys, Jimmy here. And so what we're going to talk about today is igniting your customer experience. Now, look, customer experience can make or break how long a client stays at the gym, what our chances are of changing their life, and how they speak about Code 5 to other people. Now, to give you a backstory on customer experience and a story that's quite memorable for me. So at the moment, I'm actually in Thailand, and over here, there's a gym called Unit 27. And the first time I came over here to Thailand, it does have, I guess, a wording around the fitness industry that it's very, very tough to train here. It's extremely hot, and the training is very, very difficult. And literally from the first moment I came, I remember I walked in and there's a guy named Dale. He's extremely friendly to me. He welcomed me to the gym. They actually gave me a big bottle of water and explained the session. When I was there before my first session, they get everyone to put up their hand going, "Hey guys, whose first session is it at Unit 27? And then from there, they were there to help me every step of the way. They gave me a little cool down at the end, and the session was absolutely unforgettable. And since that time, I've actually been back to Thailand to train about 7 times. And I'm a massive advocate of Unit 27. And it all started from that first experience, but then also the month that I got to spend here. So let's get into it today. So firstly, the mission of customer experience is to create a raving fan of Code 5. Now, firstly, what is a raving fan? So, I want you to think about CrossFit. So CrossFit have a fantastic culture, because what happens, a lot of people who do CrossFit, they can't stop talking about it. You stop them in the street and they're raving about their exercise and their experience and how addicted they are. And that's what a raving fan is. A raving fan will tell their friends about Code 5, about how fantastic Code 5 is. A raving fan will share on social media about their experiences and leave great reviews on Listen 360. They'll talk about Code 5 at dinner parties, about the way that you engage with them, about how fun the sessions are, how addicted they are to them. And it also goes, obviously, they'll talk about it at work as well. And they'll really want to get their friends involved because they become really, really addicted to Code 5. Then they're heavily invested in the events. So they love to come to Code 5. And I just want you to spend a moment now and have a think about a member at your gym who ticks all those boxes. Because at each gym now, we do have raving fans, okay? But the aim is to make everyone a raving fan. All we need at our Code 5 gyms is 250 raving fans. And in our local areas, we don't open a Code 5 unless there's 20,000 people in that area. So it's definitely possible, but I'm going to explain to you today every step of the way to be able to create a raving fan and talk about some of the high and low points of a member experience at Code 5. So here's the 100-day cycle of a member. So firstly, they opt in for interest. Then they have their first experience entering the gym. We're going to talk a little bit about the seminar, the session experience, which is really such a massive part. Their first 28 days, transferring from the 28 days to a retention coach, how people get demotivated after 6 weeks, how wearable technology can enhance their experiences, and just making sure that you know all the resources that are available to improve the client experience. So firstly, with the opt-in. So what happens? We get the majority of our leads from social media or referrals. And what's happened is someone's made the commitment to change their life. Okay, so it's really important that we contact that person as quick as we can while their motivation is really high. So it means that our sales process, we're contacting them morning and night, and we're doing absolutely everything we can to get the chance and the opportunity to change their life. Then we want to make sure that we talk about their goals and clearly explain what their future is going to look like at Code 5 over 24 weeks. We want that person to be able to visualize their life changing on that phone call, okay, to make sure that they have complete trust in our company and that we have the ability to get them results. And then on the initial, you need to explain what's going to happen during their first 28 days of Code 5. Remember, for client experience now, everything has to be personalized for them, and people want to know what's happening. They want to know what's happening around the gym. They want to know what to expect, so there's no surprises or anything like that, because that can create a low point if there is any surprises. So the first key point is actually their first experience entering the gym. Okay, so what you've got to understand is, this could be that client's first time ever entering a group training facility. It might even be their first time ever entering a gym. And most of the time, if they have trained before, they haven't been training in a long time. Okay, so we have a story about a lady named Kath who once walked, who came to a Code 5, was a little bit worried. She was so anxious about her experience that she actually cried in her car. Now, I don't want you to think that that story doesn't happen to everyone. It's quite daunting. I want you to think about, a time where you've had to walk into a conference or a seminar or a really big event, how you might get butterflies as well. And you have to know that that's happening to our clients. And then they're not completely sure about how the gym runs and how the gym operates. So it's vitally important that we make sure we always welcome our members with a smile. And we talk about this a lot. We're always happy. We're always switched on. And then acknowledge that it's their first session and make sure you have their back and explain to them that you're going to look after them the whole step of the way. And introduce yourself as a coach. So, if you see someone waiting around, they'll be there, they're looking, they're probably not sure about a few things, is make sure you go over and say hello and try and make their day with that initial experience. Then you want to create this session around giving them a great experience. So we do talk a lot about the intensity that we want our clients to train at. But in the first session, you want to go and talk to them and go, how often have you been training recently? Did you eat before the session today? Okay, let's build off that. How hard would you like to train? And then you can start to customize their first experience. They might just want to get through the session. They might be coming to a 5:15 class and they haven't eaten yet. They haven't trained in 3 months and they're about to do a high intensity class. So what we don't want, and it happens, is people feeling sick during the class. We don't want to push them so hard that they faint or they have a bad experience. It's something to be really, really cautious about. Then during the first week, you want to make sure they're booked in again. So in the session, come up and go, Jimmy, really great session today. When are you booked in again? Wednesday. Awesome. I'm actually here in the morning. I can't wait to see you again. We've got boxing. It's going to be a really great session. Make sure you come up and grab me and I'll show you the perfect technique to throw punches during that session. So then you're starting to get them booked in again and you're showing them how you're going to add value. And this means that every trainer has to do that, okay? Because we're working as a team. And know that this moment, this initial moment from when they walk into the gym can make or break their whole customer experience. So this can either be their most memorable moment or a moment where they look back on it and it wasn't great. So the first time they step in the gym is so important that we absolutely nail. Then we've got the seminar. So the seminar is purely run to increase their chances of success and make sure that they know everything that's happening around the gym so it's not as daunting during their first 28 days. So in that seminar, we give them a plan of attack. We talk about nutrition, we talk about training, goal setting, and how they're going to get results. And as I said previously, everyone in life wants a plan. They want to be able to see the future and see how they get their dream body. They get their education on classes, so they know which classes are running, what each flow of each class is and how to book in, okay? Which obviously, massively increase their chances of success because, if a client doesn't attend and they get an email, it can be a shock to them and they get a text message. So we want to make sure that we tell them all the systems and procedures that we have in place so they don't get any shocks at all when they book in their sessions or if they cancel, and also explaining the importance of them being disciplined and actually coming to their sessions. As I said, we talked to them about the nutrition. So we give them a basic nutrition plan, which again is just giving them something to follow during their 28 days. And we just have to know that the clients, when they're coming in, they want to transform their bodies. So the chances are that they're nailing their nutrition are pretty low. Okay, so they might think they know a lot about nutrition, but it's important that we give them a plan. And I know that our plans, because I've seen it time and time again, will help their chances of success just by simply following it. And it makes it easy for the whole team to coach as well. Then we talk about their in-body scans as well. So they get their first scan, okay? And the scan is what every coach has to coach off. We need to know that we're transforming their life. Are they losing weight? Are they losing body fat? Are they adding muscle? And if they don't know how to read that scan, the chances of them doing it continually are very, very low because they don't know the value of it. So during that scan, we go above and beyond, explaining to them every key detail in that scan, telling them what to look for, telling them to make sure that they text their coach and adding it into any systems and procedures we have so we can see it regularly. And then making sure they leave with the booklet, the InBody booklet, and go, this InBody scan is so valuable for your success. I want you to go home and spend 20 minutes today and read this booklet, because we're going to be looking at this scan every week and every fortnight. And it's important that you know what everything means. And then, of course, we talk about MyZone, which I'm going to touch about in a little bit more detail. But, one of the reasons MyZone is so important is it dramatically improves the customer experience and also increases the amount that our clients train, which is obviously very important to help get them results. So then we have the session experience, and the session experience continues on from their first session right up to some of our members have had 1,000 sessions at Code 5. And the thing you always want to reflect on after the session was that a memorable experience for our members? Because we've had some sessions that are great, that are like literally a 10 out of 10 and perfect, but then you might have some sessions that have dropped down. But we've given systems and procedures to make sure that every session is of the same quality so that our customer experience is linear. So it's not going up and down. It's not, the sessions they have on the coaches on Wednesday are like, so amazing. And then they come in on Thursday and the trainers delivering that session give a worse experience. So then they start to have massive favoritism with the days they train and also the coaches. So you always want to be well prepared with your pre-session meeting. Okay, this is so important that you know the exercises, you know the regressions and progressions. Now, we've talked about this, we've learned about it. If you don't know, make sure you reach out to your manager today, because this is what sets up the customer experience during the session. Are the bathrooms clean? Okay, we've touched on this before. Is there toilet paper? Is there everything needed to stock the bathrooms? Because that can be a huge low point. You go to the bathroom, there's not enough toilet paper. Imagine that. You go to the bathroom and there's tissues everywhere. It can create such a bad experience. So we need to make sure we're on that twice a day. Know that in the morning, you might have 100 members who have come through your gym. Obviously, the bathrooms are going to be a little bit dirtier than when you started at 5:15. We also need to do it overnight. And you also need to check before you go home, because that evening you've had another 100 members come through. So it's just a constant flow. And we do that as a team. Then always focusing on movement quality and education of highest importance. So if someone's doing a kettlebell swing incorrectly, jump in there, get down, use your 360 reviews to make sure that you're teaching them things about exercise. So they should leave every day with another tip on how to move more effectively. It might be on a squat. If you see them not having their proper range, putting a plate under their heels, but going above and beyond to make sure that their movement quality is always of a high level. And it might never be perfect, but we're always aiming to improve that every session. Then you want to make sure we push our clients 10% further than what they would when they train by themselves. Now, look, at Code 5, there's many different members. There's members who just want to come and train. And then there's all members who absolutely want to smash it. An easy way to see is how hard they go on the cardio machines. Okay, but regardless, every member has to work 10% harder. And yes, you might have those members who work 30, 40, 50% harder who absolutely smash it. Okay, you can ask them how they're feeling this day, how they're feeling that day, how hard they want to train. But this is where your intuition will really come to the forefront, because the more that you know the members, the more that you'll know how hard they train and how hard you can push them. In the spare time, make sure we're building relationships. So we always say, do you know their partner's name? Do they have any friends? Where do they work? How much rapport do you have with those members? And in your breaks, in the sessions, maybe it might be a core exercise where they're doing a plate. You can jump down. You go, hey guys, where's your favorite travel location? Then they're learning more about their partners and you're also learning more about them. Because you might have your retention members, okay, that you're looking after. It might be 50, 75 of them. But how much do you know about every member at the gym? Because it's important that you not only have a relationship with just your retention members, who obviously will be a really, big relationship, but also you have a relationship with every other member in the gym, so you can always improve their experience. And also introducing them to their partners is vital. So they have to know who they're training with. So that's something that we never want missed. And, use the breaks to ask their team building questions. We do talk about it a lot, but the customer experience, if you think about a place that you go that you're really comfortable with. So for me, it's our AFL club. Whenever I go down there, I'm happy. I'm down there and I'm happy because I have 40 or 50 friends down there. So how can you not be happy? But that was just built up over time. It was built up by learning more about the people down there, having good experiences with them, and then it creates a bond that's absolutely unforgettable every time I go down there. Okay, so the first 28 days of their training at Code 5 is vital to set up their long-term success. Just like every part I'm saying is vital, but this is what can really set them up as a raving fan. So we want to introduce them to the community, really wow them with our events, how friendly our trainers are, and get to make sure they get to know other members and they're engaged, they're coming to their 3 sessions per week. Okay, and with the coaches who are looking after them during their first 28 days, you want to teach them habits that they can keep for life. Okay, so we don't want to go, too crazy trying to give them like whiz bang techniques that when they transfer over to the retention client, the retention coach possibly aren't followed. So it's important we follow the systems and give them habits. They're training 3 days a week. They're tracking their food. They're being mindful when they're eating, and they're doing their InBody scan each week to clearly show results. And what you have to understand is during the 28 days, you can't take for granted that the client knows anything, okay? Because how much do we forget stuff? They're going to come to a seminar, okay? It might be 45 minutes to an hour, okay? And they're probably not going to bring a notepad. They're not going to write everything down. So this is your chance, and you're going to have to re-explain stuff. Go, Jimmy, do you understand about the scan? Awesome. I just want to explain it to you again. Here's a little video on it, okay, on how you can learn more about it. Do you know all the sessions again? Because just know that they will forget stuff. So you need to constantly remind them on anything they don't know. And then obviously consistently show progress and be realistic with their weight loss. So, a really, really good result is losing 0.5 kilo a week. That's a fantastic result, and it's definitely maintainable long-term. And we'll see people who lose 16 weeks, but it's important that you always be realistic with the clients. And if they come to you and they say they want to lose 2 kilos per week, go, Jimmy, we're going to get after it. But I also want you to know that an average client will lose 0.5 kilo a week. So I don't want you to get disappointed if you don't lose the 2 kilos, but I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that we're pushing forward. And we just know that losing 2 kilos a week long-term is unrealistic anyway. So you want to make sure that you're educating them on this process. And then you want to celebrate every win. Okay, celebrate when they send you their InBody scan on time. Celebrate that they didn't train for 6 months and over the 28 days they did, 15 sessions. Celebrate that they're increasing their knowledge about nutrition. They're starting to eat breakfast. They added in a banana before they train of a morning so they didn't feel sick during the session. They've started to be mindful about what they're eating, and they've also put in habits that can transform their life, okay, which is consistent training and just, knowing more about nutrition and just being disciplined on what they need to do to change their lives. So then after the 28 days, they might transfer over to a different coach. And what you've got to understand is this can be the biggest low point at Code 5 because they've just built a relationship with a coach for 28 days. And then there's a transfer over to a new coach. People don't like change in life. Okay. They've just built a relationship with a coach. They might have lost 3 kilos. So you've got to know that this is a low point and it's a moment that they're again going into the unknown. Okay, so now that you know it's a low point, is you want to make sure you're following the same system and flow that their 28-day coach did. So you're texting them every week, okay? And then you've gone out of your way to talk to the coach who will help them on their first 28 days to learn more about them. Okay, it's going to be easier to build rapport. Say I get a new client, right? If I go to Latham, Lath, how'd you go with Jane over the first 28 days? Awesome. What kind of job has she got? How's her training? Was she consistent with her InBody scans? Is there any important information I need to know about her to be able to change her life over the next 24 weeks? And then you want to spend 15 minutes talking to that client and creating rapport. So if you talk to the coach, you have a higher chance of building rapport because they're going to give you insider knowledge on that client. Okay. But then you might call them. You want to go above and beyond. If they train, at 6:45, you might take them for coffee, but you want to make sure that you spend quality time so that doesn't become a massive low point where, the first 28-day coach has gone above and beyond because it's extremely systemized. But then it's just like, what we don't want is a text message like, oh, hey, Jimmy, it's John. I'm your new retention coach. What are your goals over the next 12 weeks? You've got to know that that's going to be a low point. And then as we talk about giving them a plan for the next 24 weeks, because once they go after the 28 days, they're on a 24-week transformation program. So we've got to know their goals, and we want to give them checkpoints along the way. So if they want to lose, say 12 kilos over the 24 weeks, how much weight is that per week? When are you going to check in and track their progress? Okay, because once you do that, once you have everything in line and engaged, and they have that plan, is they're going to become a raving fan of you as a coach very, very quickly. Then we have 6 weeks. So after 6 weeks, that's where demotivation hops in at code 5, and it's time to reassess. So they've nailed their first 28 days, they're going to habits, and this is around about the time where they start to get demotivated. So you might have had them as a coach for 2 weeks. Okay, so now you're aware of that happens. Okay, and you're always asking them about their motivation. Okay, but you're also being intuitive. Are their sessions going up and down or staying consistent? Are they replying to your text messages? Are they doing their in-body scans, or are they dodging it? If they're dodging it, chances are that their motivation's dropping. They're not eating as well. They're not following the program as well. So you're starting to pick up on these little tricks and tips and tactics. Okay, and then you're checking on their in-body. They might text it to you. And imagine I want you to do a video, a 2-minute video that you can send them on your phone and talk about the habits. Talk about the plan over the next, 20 weeks or 24 weeks or whatever it might be, and then give them some really good habits that they continually focus on. Because if you teach your clients just one new thing every week for a year, imagine how much they've changed your life. Okay, you've teach them things on nutrition, on training, on motivation, on consistency. You would have changed their life. And this is a key point where they should definitely have friends and attend an event at Code 5. Whether that's an internal event or an external event, and you want to see how they're engaging. If they're doing boxing, do they have that partner they want to train with? In Tabata, are they warming up next to people who they're having conversations with and they want to train with? That's the way you test it. And if that's not happening, you know that we need to create bonds with them, with other clients, and also get them involved in the community. Now, wearable technology. So whether you like wearable technology or not, you've got to understand this is the biggest fitness trend in the fitness industry over the last 3 years. Okay, think of all the new wearable technology coming out at the moment, and there's only going to be more of it. So our key wearable technology is MyZone. Okay, MyZone, when they're wearing it, will increase the session quality because you're able to coach them better. You're able to give them targets. Okay, it's also going to track their movement each week. Okay, so they might be doing 4 sessions at Code 5, but then you're prescribing them one, low intensity walk. And the way you can check that is using MyZone. Okay, and doing the little things, make sure you're adding them as a friend. Okay, putting that time into your week to engage in your clients' workouts. Okay, you might just spend, 30 minutes on MyZone. You'll be at work. You're just there going, congratulating on them sessions, motivating, going, really great work. You burn 130 MEPs on the Monday class. I want to see you there next Monday, and we're going to burn more. We're going to burn 140. Okay, because that portal and that app is so vital for success, and you can use it as another touch point. So what a touch point is in customer experience, it might be posting on the client group and tagging them in. It's our emails, it's our Instagram posts, it's our shout outs, it's you texting them, you calling them. Because the more touch points you can have in different avenues, the greater your chances of getting through to that person, and they're going to become a raving fan. And using your MyZone app is a really, really great way to do that, to wow them and make their day. Okay, and also congratulating them on any post on Facebook when you get the really great results. So a trainer might post the, top 10 best results. Make sure you jump on there, congratulate them, go above and beyond and tag them in. Tag them, go, I'm so proud of you. Spend that time to do 10 extra tags. Go, I can't wait to see you in class. Let's step it up again this month. And then MyZone, there's been really, really big studies on this, will increase their volume of training because it starts to gamify their education. Okay, and you'll know this in yourself, is you'll start to get addicted to wearing your MyZone, and you'll start to track your sessions and track your intensity. So just think about your experience with MyZone and how it affects your training, and know that the clients have the exact same experience. And I can't recommend to you enough, every session you need to be using your MyZone, because if you're coaching clients off this and you're not using MyZone yourself, There's a massive gap. Okay. And we can't do that because it breaks our customer experience, and they want to see how much you're training. And lastly, you want to make sure you're using all the resources that are available to our clients. Okay. So on our website, we have blogs and resources. Okay. So on there, make sure you go on the website, have a look at our blogs and resources. Okay. And then send them to them and share them to the clients, because this is an easy way to add another touch point. And your mobile phone is the most powerful tool you can use. You can send texts, you can send videos, you can send voicemails to the client. Okay, making sure as well they're added to the Instagram, making sure they're on the client pages and the public pages. Because what it does on there, we have posting strategies to let them know about what's happening in the gym, to let them know about nutrition tips. We tag them in posts, we reshare anything they post on Instagram. And it's just increasing the experience. And clients absolutely love when they get shouted out. They absolutely love when they get tagged and we share their posts. But unless they're on those pages, it's impossible for us to do that. And finally, I just want to leave you with a quote. Okay, the goal as a company is to have customer service that is not just the best but legendary. And I want you to have a think about everything that I said today, and I want you to write down 10 ways that you can improve your customer experience at Code 5. And every day when you come to work, I want you to think, is our customer service today going to be okay? Is it going to be good, or it's going to be legendary? And we want it to be legendary every single day a client comes to Code 5. And it's an absolute team job to make sure that happens. But I know you can do it. And I know that every gym at Code 5 can create 250 raving fans. Guys, thank you for watching. If you ever have any questions, please make sure you reach out to me. I want you to know how much power you have in changing people's lives. I hope you got some value from today. And what I want you to do is, from this video, is make sure you action what you learn, because there's no point watching these videos if you don't action anything. And go back, make sure you wrote notes, make sure that you're implementing the knowledge that we share with you, because I want you to be a world-class coach and I want you to change as many lives as possible.